Hey everyone, this is Sasha from Anger Management. Today's episode, I had a special guest named Rodney. He's from Relentless Destiny production. We sat down and we talked about all three seasons of Cobra Kai. Going to break this up into three segments. Season one, two, and three. We talked about it because it lasts over close to 2 hours. And so I'm going to break it down into three segments. Um, but one thing is that I wanted to be able to say is that I enjoyed my time, me and him sitting down back talking and doing this, and we're going to do a little bit more of this. Another thing is, if you can, please be able to send out some thoughts and love and prayers to my partner Aaron, because his mother is in the hospital, and she's, even though it was just a mild heart attack, you never know the way the wind turns things. So thoughts and love to you, Aaron, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Anger Management.
So how have you been doing?
I'm good. I'm gonna record the audio,
Yeah,
okay, so we can have a backup.
not a problem, man. I appreciate it. So so yeah, it was supposed to be a three man team, but Robert, I don't know if you remember my old friend Robert,
I don't know.
Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's with his sons and for the day. So he said
Okay.
that. So he said that he really wants to redo the Fast and Furious with you, and
Yeah.
hope we can get Transformers also one that you're talking about.
Man, I'm all about these kind of black nerd conversations. It's not I don't see a lot out there anyway. I mean, that's what me and my boys tried to do with the whole Star Wars thing. So I think it's a good time to to jump on it.
I I mean, I wish I would have known that you would have, because if you did, I'd have asked you to been a part of a whole bunch of sit downs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's just starting, especially with COVID, man. We're just starting to get in that because my boy's in the comic books and he has his own store and stuff like that. And then we're in the filmmaking, so yeah, it's just something we want to continue to do.
so I mean, when are good times with you? So in the future.
Mainly the weekends, probably around this time. I mean, football's about to be scarce or gone, so this is going to be the best time to do it on Sundays, Sunday afternoons. I usually don't watch the kids on Sunday afternoon, so this is probably the best time.
Oh, so your wife's giving you a little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm watching them during the week, so they kicking my ass.
Well, you know what? I want to thank Mrs. Tana Greenwood, for allowing you to sit down with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I want to welcome everybody to an episode of Anger Management. I have a special guest. We have Rodney with Relentless Destiny. How are you doing today, man?
I'm hanging in there, dude. Just finished Cobra Kai, so it's both good and sad at the same time because with Mando ending and Cobra Kai, I don't know what I'm gonna be able to watch. But other than that, I'm fine. What about you?
Oh man, I'm just I'm good as well. I'm feeling really great right now.
Good, good.
I'm you know me and you, we talked about that brief stuff that's going on with us, and if you want to know, I've known Rodney for going on close to 20 years.
Yeah,
I've watched him. He was like a real close friend with my younger brother, and they were like losing buddies all the time. They always got in trouble together. So now just me and him, we bond a little bit on movies, cartoons, and stuff like that. So it's good that me and him, we can be able to sit back and we can be able to do this little thing about Cobra Kai. We wanted to talk about it. I've been getting on him for over a year.
yeah.
He's getting on Cobra Kai, like,
I'm
we need to
glad.
sit down and talk about it.
I'm
So
glad to find you.
before we start talking about it, can you tell everybody about Relentless Destiny? What is that?
It's the name of my film company that I started few years ago, right before I made my first film, and made a there's probably only made one film under that banner. Everything else has been collaboration with other filmmakers. But yeah, it's just the name of my film company basically means that, you know, Destiny has a way of being relentless, never letting you go. Every time, you know, when you have something that you want to do in your life, it'll always stay in the back of your mind, and it comes after you relentlessly. It never leaves you alone. And when you want it to shut up, it never does. And it's always going to remind you, you know, you want to be that chef, you want to be that coach, you want to be that journalist, whatever, just always stays in the back of your mind. And that's really the basis for the meaning of Relentless Destiny.
Okay, hey man, you know what? And is there a way that if anybody wants to see that film, is there a way like you have a website, ID, web contacting?
Yeah, I've been pretty behind on social media, you know, making it pretty consistent and stuff like that. But I mean, just YouTube Rodney Greenwood or Relentless Destiny, and I have a few videos plus the full film of Pyros that I just released on YouTube. It was on Amazon, so now I just released it on there just to, you know, get it out to everybody and tired of holding on to it. So yeah, it's viewable right now for free on YouTube, and then
So
Instagram is Relentless Destiny as well.
so everybody, if you get a chance, you know, go ahead and follow him. You know, it's always good. And you know, I always do one thing when you have a person who's doing something like this. It's always good to have like a little backing to show support. Don't just say, "Oh, whatever, yeah, that's good. I'm back in here. I'm glad to see you do it." No, get behind that person. You
Hmm.
know, show it. Go behind. Find every way you can to support and let that person have their dream. Because you know what, the big market's is already accomplishing this dream. He's
Hmm.
trying to do something himself. So hey, I got you back, man.
Yeah, a few likes really go a long way, especially for people pursuing a dream or, you know, anything like that when it comes to social media, man. It really helps not only for the mental, but to help, you know, other artists get seen.
Definitely does. So, Rodney, what is this Cobra Kai? This is the thing that I've been wanting to talk to you about. What what do you love about this TV show? What do you love about this series?
Man, just the fact that it's Cobra Kai and they did it right. I mean, I want to give first of all, before we even go much further in the subject of it, first of all, got to give credit to just the writers, period, and the show creators. I mean, they respected the material. They went gung ho. They committed and they came through. So first and foremost, that's it. That's the love of just, you know, it's crazy for something that hits you. And I know, I mean, me and you can go all day on all the black nerd stuff that we grew up with, and
Right.
when you're able to grow up and grow old and see the stuff that you grew up, you know, loving as a kid be respected and turned in to something different, and it keeps flourishing. I mean, that's just something that's great to witness, and that's what's happening with Cobra Kai right now. I mean, I love Karate Kid, was a huge fan. I liked all of them, even three. I know people hate on three, but I
Yeah,
like
I'm one of
all of them.
them.
Man, I was always about Cobra Kai, man, and again when the show came out, so that's just the original love. It's just I loved it from the get go, man. I love the concept of Karate Kid. I love the fact of Cobra Kai being the villain, but they were still kind of gray area, not full villain. They were um fleshed out. You know, it wasn't a cookie cutter villain, especially in the '80s. You know, so yeah, I've always been a fan, man. So having the show come up and good for the Cobra, you know, the Cobra Kai creators and of course Billy Zabka and Daniel LaRusso. So
You know, I'm not gonna lie. The first time when I heard that Cobra Kai was coming out, I was excited, but I didn't want to really get into it because you know they were always talking about Johnny. It was going to be about Johnny Lawrence.
hmm
I didn't really care for Johnny Lawrence. I always thought he was a jerk face. You
fact,
know, you remember the original Karate Kid.
yeah.
You didn't like him. You have you ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
No, but I know that's where it kind of stemmed from the Barney
Yeah,
character talking about that Daniel was the real bully.
real bully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, there were like some episodes where Billy Zabka he said yeah every movie I was in I was always the bad
hmm
guy and so I didn't want to watch it, but when it was on YouTube Red and I think it was the first two or three episodes that were free, I started watching it and I'm like, oh, I think I can really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I signed up for YouTube Red, and I fell in love with it. And I like that just really renewed my love for the Karate Kid series.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't lie about it. Even like we talk about Karate Kid 3. I don't like it. I thought Mike Barnes was stupid. Like okay, um, Daniel LaRusso goes to Okinawa, fight somebody to death to
Yeah.
this is his life's on the line, and then comes back to a tournament and fights Johnny Lawrence 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I just found that one like, oh, whatever. I don't like Mike Barnes.
Yeah.
Chosen, on the other hand, I love Chosen. In season 3, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with this character even more, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when I saw the series, I thought it was a joke. I mean, because of course there's been a lot of parodies about it. We've been teased about it over the years. It just seemed like it was always just, the running meme. And I mean, at the time, I think when it first came out, we didn't even know what kind of shape Ralph Macchio and Billy Zabka were in. We didn't know, how old or young they were, and if they were still talking about Karate Kid. And so and again, I think there's been some SNL skits, and there's been a lot of memes about it, and just, again, just a lot of teases. And so when I first saw the trailer, I don't think the buzz was that big about it. It was just kind of, oh, they're doing Cobra Kai. And again, I thought it was another, parody or nothing
Yeah.
serious. And even when I watched the trailer, I didn't invest too much in it, because the trailer looked cheesy to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, but it's Cobra Kai. I'm like, let me, of course I'm a true fan. Of course I'm going to give it a try. And man, from the first episode, and that's one thing that I will say. Like, it's funny, me and my wife were talking about it. It's like, after all this time and, getting into season 3, it's so crazy when I think about both of the characters that, with LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence. It's like, I really think they wrote them how I thought that they would actually be. You know what I'm saying? It's, for some reason in my head, it seems very realistic that Daniel would turn into the rich, kind of douchey, successful person, and Johnny Lawrence would be, the man still living in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And kind of a fuck up, but that's again that's again props to the writers. But I was hooked, man. Once I saw that first episode, they had me at the first episode.
Definitely, I know exactly what you mean. From that first episode where Johnny and where when you see Johnny down on his luck going over there being a repairman, and then when he first met Miguel, and the way how I think it was like the polar opposite
Yeah.
Karate Kid. How when Daniel met Mr. Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi was like, he seemed more like he was inviting.
Yeah.
Johnny was like, stay away from me, Miguel. I don't want nothing to do with you. Hey, Menudo, I want you to know right now the rent is like this, and, the toilet sucks, and I can afford to live here. He was just making, it seemed like he didn't want nothing to do with them.
Mm-hmm. His comedy is so good, man. That's one of the things that I wouldn't even call it underrated at this point, because everything. I mean, he's the heart. Him and Miguel are the heart of the show. And I mean, his comedy, his timing, everything, his character, everything just fits right, and it's believable. That's the greatest thing about it, is it's believable.
Yeah. Now, so with season 1, I want you to give me tell me what is your overall thought about season 1. What did you like about season 1, and what did you not like about season
1? Number one, I mean, I think hands down, it's mad props to Zolo and Miguel, and again Johnny. I think honestly, I'll put Miguel first. To me, and this is going to be probably a controversial opinion, maybe or may not, but I think he has one of the best transformations since Walter White. I mean, his character arc was so good, and again, believable from the nerd kid. Like, I can get goosebumps just seeing that moment where he actually started to get the karate, and it actually started to transform. And the fact that he went through a struggle. He was a nerd kid that didn't have nothing. He got his ass beat a few times before he finally got to kick back, and it made a difference. So yeah, that's it right there. Is the Miguel character arc, and again seeing Johnny Lawrence and seeing where they are, and just you love the characters. I love the characters, so I want to see everything about them.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I thought the same thing too with it because the transformation just came out of nowhere. You saw his first training, he's trying to talk to him and he's like saying, like I have asthma, Johnny threw the asthma over there, it's in your mind, get out of here.
Yeah.
and you're right, it did like the comedy, the first time with Johnny and Miguel. You could see like he was just like every bit he was like fucking with Miguel every chance he gets like cleaning up. Is this some type of training? No, I don't give a shit. Just clean
Yeah.
up.
I
Do
care
what
how
you
you
want.
wipe windows.
you know. But one thing is that I really also did like in that series is I like to see. I really love the way how Daniel Larusso was. Like you really saw him being. He really thought he was just a good guy. He
Yeah.
really thought he was actually the good guy, but he's actually a jerk face
Mhm.
throughout that whole series.
Yeah.
He was really not likable. Why would you like him? You had no reason to like him throughout the whole season. How he was trying to force Cobra Kai out. What did Johnny do to him? He didn't do anything to him now at that time. You're living in the past, so you're trying to shut him down. He's trying to make money. He said, "Well, Cobra Kai, you have to realize what they did to me." But this is
Yeah.
a different thing. You don't know what they're doing now.
He's traumatized though. I mean, I think he's just. I mean, I think when when you're young and you get bullied, you're gonna carry that with you. And I like the way they touched up on that in season 3. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I like the way how Amanda, his wife, finally realized, yeah, everything. Because Daniel can come across a little paranoid and
Hmm.
over aggressive and stuff like that. When it comes to Cobra Kai, you can see that he has a sensitive spot. But again, if you go back to put yourself in Daniel's shoes from one. He got his ass kicked. They were bullies. I mean, think of any bully you had in high school, middle school. You wouldn't be sympathetic toward them, and you would always have a certain disdain for them. When you, no matter how y'all both grew up, if you're successful and they're not, you're still probably gonna hate their guts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But another thing I liked is how they handled the kids.
yeah.
That's what I want to give a big plus to is that I was shocked at how they handled the kids and how good the kids' stories were to follow. That kept me interested in their high school lives. That was surprising for me. I thought that I would just be interested in what happened with Johnny, and I think if they would have kept it just about Johnny and Daniel, I think it would have hurt the series. So I'm glad that they made it very they didn't keep it. They made it very 3 dimensional or whatever, gave
Right.
it depth by adding the kids' backstories and making them have real good stories to follow through. Because I mean, they should also be part of the heart of the show.
Yeah, and even though that there are a couple of characters that I can't stand, and we'll get into that in a minute.
Start there. Let's go to the dislikes. Who are they?
Okay, I can't stand Samantha LaRusso. So I can't stand Samantha LaRusso. Robbie, I tolerate. Tori, well, I'm not going to get into season 2 yet,
Yeah.
but and I don't, but I don't. That's my biggest dislike. It's Samantha LaRusso. She
Wow.
comes across as the girl next door, I could do no wrong. But
Mhm.
you have to realize there are certain things that she did that kind of manipulated
Mhm.
and made things just worse. Like what happened with Johnny's car. Even though she wasn't driving, she's walking around like no big deal happened.
Yeah.
Um, Between Robbie and Miguel at the party, we're going down to see episode 9. Yeah, it was episode 9. You
Yeah.
know, you're bringing another guy to a party. Miguel is sitting here wondering what's going on now. You and I, we were both kids,
Yeah.
And then if our girlfriend comes with another guy, she's not answering the phone. What's the first thing we're thinking?
Hmm.
You're up to no good. And she's over here saying, "You gotta do. I don't know why you're not being rational. What the hell are you talking about being rational? I've
Yeah.
been calling you all day, and I don't know what's going on with you.
Mhm.
I it's just, and the way how she did Aisha. Her and Aisha were supposed to be best friends,
Yeah.
and the way how she just made it, and the way how she just gets there for Yaz and Moon, Yasmin and Moon. It just felt very much like you're trying to you definitely can see how much you just can't stand her. I mean, I just don't like her character. There's nothing about her about no redeeming qualities about her. I don't like her character.
Yeah, I think though I think that's part of the believability though with Aisha and Sam and Yaz and Moon is that that does happen. You know, kids grow out of friendships, you know, based on, you know, how they grow into their bodies and you know their living situations and stuff like that. So I think that again, I think that that's part of what drew me in is because it felt organic. It felt like how high school was. You know,
Yeah,
as far as liking and dislike Sam, I'm kind of indifferent on her. I think definitely she has some very stupid moments, most notably, like you said, the showing up with Robbie and just thinking this is gonna be no big deal that I'm showing up to my boyfriend to see my boyfriend with another dude is like, come on, bro.
yeah.
Those are some of the writing mishaps I think that happened. It's not many, but that was one of them. And like again with her overall, I think she serves her purpose. In the you know the other seasons, I think they get a little better presenting her, but I agree with you, and honestly, probably the most of the internet just dislikes her because she is the cause to a lot of problems in the Cobra Kai universe. But I mean, that's what keeps the drama going, I guess. So I just think they need to make her a little more less cliche and maybe have a little bit more depth, which I think again I think they're doing better in the other seasons.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Robbie, man, and I want to preface this by saying the actors I think they're doing a great job. I can't anything that I'm saying it's just you know just overall just how it's presented. I think the actors are doing a great job. I love all of them. I follow most of them on Instagram, and so mad props to them, including Samantha Larusso and Robbie Keane. But I again, the internet's all over. I think the internet, the biggest people that the internet hates right now is Samantha, Robbie, and Dimitri. And
Oh yeah.
and so again, I think with Samantha, with Sam and Robbie, I'm kind of indifferent. I kind of like them. I think she did just enough for me to still like her, and I think Robbie did just enough for me to still like him. My biggest problem, like you asked earlier about what was my biggest negative about the season, I think it was Robbie. And I'm hoping that you mark this video spoiler because it's going to be full of spoilers. So
It's going to be a spoiler alert for everybody,
yeah,
but
from
go
this
ahead,
point
continue.
on, it's nothing but spoilers if you didn't
Spoilers.
already know. But
Mm-hmm.
I hate that that they let Robbie enter the tournament. I think that was another big writing mishap. But I mean, when I read about it, and I see why they did it because they didn't know if they were going to get another season. So I think they
Yeah.
had to like squash everything in and you
Mm-hmm.
know just finish all the plots that they had going, all the storylines that they had, and they just needed closure on everything. And I think accelerating him to the tournament was part of that. I think they didn't have a choice. You know, I think it kind of took away from Miguel's arc a little bit because it put a little spotlight on Robbie, especially that dumbass kick, bro. I was like,
Oh, you didn't like the one-handed standing kick?
did anybody like that kick, man?
I didn't you know every time look back at it I'm just looking at it like what was the purpose of it, you know. It didn't really I didn't really I think that they were trying to find something like the crane kick or the
Yeah,
drum technique, so they were
exactly.
trying to find okay, well we need to top that, so let's do that standing kick. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just didn't seem
Hold up,
right.
hold up, real
Yeah,
quick. Gotta answer.
yeah, no.
You can still talk though, just real quick.
So yeah, so I mean, yeah, you know, I can agree with you about Robbie, but you know, when I started not liking Robbie, that's in season two. But I'll get into that one when we get to season two.
Hmm.
Um, I
But
really
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, and I was gonna say like I think especially because I left out my other boy, and I don't know how you feel about him, so I'm waiting to hear your opinion because I think you can go either way with Hawk. I don't
Oh,
know if you like.
to get Hawk.
Okay, yeah, but and again, I think that's what took away from my boy Hawk. You know, with Robbie having, I mean, it's just, dude, it's like okay, we understand he's Johnny's kid, and we understand he has potential to be cold, and we understand that he trained with Daniel. But again, I'll say it again. writers, I apologize. I know it was probably because y'all were rushed, but with him fighting one-handed and still hanging with Cobra Kai, I'm just like, all right, bro. And then, yeah, between that, him getting in the tournament, him fighting with one hand, him doing that dumbass, skater kick, I was like, all right, Robbie, I'm good. But I don't mind the actor. I think he did. I think he did a good job. I think he had some good emotional beats, and he did some good emotional acting. I think he was very believable. I like him as Robbie. A lot of people didn't like his haircut, and I think in season 3 when they finally cut his hair, I think it did make a big difference. But I don't have. He's one of my favorite characters. I think, and I'll probably talk more about him. I'll leave it on season 1 right now, but I think that's my only negatives. Any negatives for you other than that on season 1?
The only negatives that I had is just, is like I said, I don't like Samantha LaRusso, but I'm going to agree with you. So I was just about to say with Hawk is that I really felt like with Hawk, he could have, you could definitely have done something with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's set for it. He was picked on. From everybody, at school because of his tough lip and the way how he evolved.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way how he went out in the tournament just with shades of Karate Kid, was the original Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that could have been done with Hawk.
Yeah.
Which is where I was going to go into season 2, which I felt like you missed an opportunity with Hawk. You missed a very big opportunity with Hawk. Even in season 3, they probably could have done something else with him, but I'm going to say I'm satisfied with where they went with them. But but I really didn't like that. I did like Hawk. I loved the way how he grew from being shy and he's scared of everything. Then all of a sudden what they say, flip the switch.
Yeah.
And badass.
He had a good transformation, man.
Great transformation.
So he's one of my favorite characters, and again, I think the internet's the same way. They feel that he's one of the best characters, and I'll talk about him again more in the seasons because this season 1, I like his stance, I like his aggressiveness, I like the whole over the top of the Hulk character and the Mohawk and stuff like that. And again, props to the actor for doing a great job with the character.
So before we go to season 2, what is your thought about the tournament?
Season 1? Overall, I think it was great. I think the whole Xander mom was fucking funny. And of course, one of the honorable mention characters is Miguel's grandma. Please don't lose her. Her clips are so funny. I love her little side comments.
I smoked this joint before he came here.
Yeah, it's so funny. And my dude, I hope he gets an expanded part. The black guy, like, that's a badass name for a dojo. Like, I hope he gets a bigger role. But, yeah, overall, I like Cobra Kai's entrance. I think it has the same intimidating feel. Not sure how they handled Johnny, with his feelings toward Miguel. And again, it got better. And again, these are small criticisms because I feel they were all rushed. I think they would have been better. I don't know what they were trying to do with Miguel as far as his emotions for Sam. Like when he kept telling her to stay and watch, like what was he expecting? Every time he kind of looked and she wasn't, and then he was kind of surprised when she wasn't there. I'm like, I don't know what they really expected out of that moment from his character. I was confused on that, to be honest. And the girls fighting, Aisha fighting was good. I like how they incorporated that. I didn't get any type of feeling that it needs to be a girl guide tournament, but if they did decide to split it up, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I think suspension of disbelief may get thrown if they keep that's something that I felt was bad in the latest season with Tori, but I'll get on that later. What else? I still don't know how you feel about them, but the little guys, Bert and I'm gonna say the Asian kid. I don't know his name yet. I forgot his name. I don't know how you feel about them, but I'm not feeling them. I mean, I guess they have the comic relief sometimes, but I don't know. I'm not feeling
I,
them.
to be honest with you, I just felt like they were just there just to be there.
Yeah, I think
Like
so.
when you see them in the tournament, they're like, saying, "Yeah, you can do it." And he's just sitting there, he's frozen for the moment. It didn't seem, it didn't seem like he learned anything. I was like,
Yeah,
you might as well just be Dimitri and just sit up in the stands. You
yeah,
can,
exactly. What is he
you
doing?
know, yeah. So yeah,
Um, go
go
ahead.
ahead. What were you saying?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the same thing. I thought there were more comic relief. There was
Yeah,
nothing. There was really nothing there for those guys. I did really like those characters,
yeah,
especially being there. Like there was, I think it was episode 9 when Bird was sitting there sparring with Hawk, and Hawk just, they're sparring, and Hawk knocked, threw a hook and knocked him out, and he was just like, I'm like, what were you expecting? The
yeah.
guy's sitting there. He's not doing anything special.
Hmm.
I really didn't like
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think they're some of the weakest, and I know they're there to serve a purpose. And another thing I want to say is, dude, please give the black dude some lines. Is he a mute? Like the corn, you know what I'm talking about, the cornrow guy that's in Cobra Kai, the only black dude there. I'm like, is this bro ever gonna talk, man? Like he ain't said a single word. Give my man some lines, please. Something, man.
Well, they gave the fat black guy some lines, and I mean
Yeah.
but we're going into season 2 with that one, and I'm with you on that one because when I looked at because when I think about it, every time he's just sitting there like he's just following. Like
Yeah.
you gonna think you have an opinion on this, or you just gonna be a follower?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
He's just always glaring to me when I see him in the back. I'm like, say something, bro. Give him a line. What?
Before season 2, we skipped over one other person, Kyler,
Oh,
his buddies. What
fuck,
are your thoughts about them?
fuck him and fuck his old crew. He has the most punchable face. I'm gonna get on Kyler later. I mean, from season 1, Kyler, fuck him. And again, nothing against the actor. Again, I think it's very believable what type of high school bully he is playing. I really like how they make it more believable with things like him not liking the fish and saying fish sticks are dope, and him backtracking from the moment when Daniel walked in on Kyler and Sam thinking that she was going to skeet him up, and he was just like, no, I'm just giving her the ring. I like how they make him this big bully, and then they also bring him down to a real small level of high school kid, and I think
Yeah,
that makes him believable. So season 1, Kyler, yeah, I couldn't stand anything about him. I didn't want him to have anything going like further in the Karate Kid or Cobra Kai universe. I just didn't want him. He was just, do you watch Game of Thrones?
never. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. But are you talking about that king that nobody likes, the little kid that nobody likes?
No, well, it's not the little kid. It's Ramsey. It's like when they write certain villains, like a Ramsey, that's Game
Mm-hmm.
of Thrones. It's like he's so despicable that the comeuppance is not going to be enough. Like the revenge that we're going to eventually get, it won't be enough because he's so despicable. And that's how it was with Kyler. It's like, seeing Miguel get back at him was great, and I'm glad they gave it to him. So Kyle. That's why Kyler's still okay. But if they kept him super despicable, yeah, he may have turned into a Ramsey. But
I thought what I thought was funny was that one episode when they went to go party, and Cobra Kai's and all their friends are sitting there first, and they're like, "Hey, Kyler, go tell them to leave." And then he saw Miguel like,
he's like, great. I just go to another party, bro. I'm good. I'm tired of getting my ass kicked. That's what I'm
yeah.
telling you, man. So that can segue into the question I was going to ask you. What do you think were your either favorite episodes or favorite moments of season 1?
My favorite part, no, I have two. Actually, I'm be honest with you.
Hmm.
The first one is when Tyler got got it. That's what I love the most because normally when that happens, you have to think about in movies that always happen at the end. This happened in the middle of the season. Miguel, you saw the evolution. You talked about it yourself. You saw how Miguel's transformation
Mm-hmm.
went from just being, I'm not sure, whatever, and he was confident, like, Kyler, quit being an asshole. And then he sat there and beat the shit out of him, beat the shit out of Kyler and all of his homeboys.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I love the most. I just felt, I'm like, yes, that's my great best thing. And then after that, I'm going to say all of episode 9 when Johnny and Daniel actually sat down and talked.
Oh yeah, the when he was giving him the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that you can see that these two actually, they're actually, sorry, I forgot to turn my notifications off.
Yes.
But you can actually see that these guys are actually, they actually get along.
Yeah.
So the way how they talk, the way how they walk, the way how they, the way everything about it is like, yeah, these two can actually be good friends, and I'm glad that it took, even though I felt like it should have happened in season two. I'm just glad that you can at least see that there's a starting point with those two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For yours.
That's one of the big ones, dude. I think that was again very organic. It felt good. Like, and I think overall, like with every season, I think the writers do a good job, even though it can be frustrating and piss me off a lot. I think they do a good job with the emotional roller coaster, because every time they come up to a high, they just knock you in the balls right out. Every single time they get like this bro love, they knock you in the balls again.
Oh my God, that's what I was gonna say going into season 2. Why I really can't stand Samantha LaRusso.
Oh yeah.
Because now I'm going to go ahead and start segueing into season 2.
Well,
Yeah, think about.
hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because I want to mention the nostalgic feeling of the golfing stuff. I geeked out big time.
Oh, really?
With golfing stuff, I was like, once they set it up, when they were like, "Where do you want to go?" or "What do you have in mind?" and then that music, "Gonna Make It Last" came on, I was like, big old nerd smile. You know what I'm saying? So that was good. Yeah, the Cobra Kai fight. I mean, all the training with that Johnny's doing with Miguel. Again, his transformation. The nostalgic feeling, of course, at the Halloween party with him showing up in the old Cobra Kai costume.
Right.
Again, they nailed the nostalgia, hands down. You know what I'm saying? I think that was one of the highlights of the season. But yeah, the bro love, Johnny with all his 80s comedy, and again the fact that he doesn't know he's still living in the 80s. I think that's just the highlight of me, period, for season 1. And yeah, I think that's it.
No, you were talking about that 80s love, and I guess that's when I really started. I was going to go into season 2 and talk about that, because you're right, everything about that, especially with in season 2, and